Welcome to the Pearl Branch, a swan perch audio experience. This is a pearl. Take a breath. Let's begin. A pearl. You're not anxious or avoidant. You're healed or you're not. There is a phrase that has quietly done more damage to modern relationships than we are willing to admit. It sounds intelligent, it sounds therapeutic, it sounds self-aware. I'm anxious. I'm avoidant. I'm working through my attachment style. And while awareness is a doorway, it is not the destination. Somewhere along the way, language that was meant to heal became language that excuses. And now, we live in a world where people mistake coping for character, patterns for personality, and wounds for identity. So let's slow this down. Not aggressively, not judgmentally, just honestly. Because here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear it. You're not anxious or avoidant. You're either healed or you're not. And if you're not healed, no label will save you from repeating the same pain with different faces. Attachment styles were never meant to be costumes. Attachment theory was never meant to become a fashion trend for emotionally unavailable people. It was meant to explain why certain nervous systems learn certain survival strategies, not just to justify keeping them forever. Anxious attachment didn't happen because you're just wired that way. It happened because at some point, consistency disappeared. Avoidant attachment didn't happen because you're naturally independent. It happened because closeness became unsafe. Disorganized attachment didn't happen because you're complicated. It happened because love and fear arrived together. These are responses, not identities. And yet today, people introduce themselves emotionally like this is their permanent setting. This is just how I attach. This is just my nervous system. This is just my trauma. No, that's how you adapted. And adaptation is not destiny. Healing is not quietly managing your triggers. Let's get very clear about something that often gets blurred. Healing is not knowing your triggers, but still reacting from them. Warning people about your wounds instead of tending to them. Calling withdrawal self-regulation. Calling protest behavior needs. Calling avoidance boundaries. If you are still punishing people with silence, testing people to see if they'll stay, withholding affection to feel in control, chasing reassurance while resetting the giver, creating distance the moment intimacy arrives, you are not healed. You are aware. Awareness without integration is just a more articulate form of chaos. A healed nervous system doesn't need control. This is one of the biggest tells. An unhealed system needs control because safety feels external. A healed system feels safe internally, so control loses its grip. When someone is healed, they don't need to rush intimacy to feel secure. They don't need to slow intimacy to feel powerful. They don't need to disappear to regulate. They don't need to cling to connection. They can just stay present in discomfort without creating drama to escape it. They can hear disappointment without collapsing. They can feel closeness without panicking. They can tolerate uncertainty without trying to dominate the outcome. That's not personality, that's regulation. Avoidance is not strength. This one needs to be said plainly. Avoidance has been rebranded as maturity. Distance has been rebranded as discernment. Emotional minimalism has been rebranded as high standards. But healed people do not fear intimacy. They also do not worship it. They are not threatened by someone wanting them. They are not seduced by someone pulling away. Avoidance is not strength. It is learned protection that once served you and now limits you. If connection feels like obligation, if closeness feels like loss of self, if consistency feels boring, that is not wisdom speaking. That is an unhealed nervous system confusing peace for danger because chaos feels familiar. Anxiety is not depth. On the other side, anxiety has been romanticized as emotional intelligence, sensitivity, intensity, passion, care. But let's be honest. If you need constant reassurance to stay regulated, feel rejected by neutral behavior, interpret distance as abandonment, escalate emotion to feel seen, fuse quickly and panic when things slow, that is not depth. That is dysregulation. A healed person can feel deeply without drowning in the feeling. They can love without losing orientation. They can want without collapsing into need. Depth without stability is not intimacy, it's flooding. Healed people don't weaponize therapy language. This is a quiet but important sign. Unhealed people use therapy language as armor. I'm setting a boundary when they are actually avoiding accountability. I'm honoring my nervous system when they are refusing to stay present. This is my trauma response when they are harming someone and don't want consequences. Healing language is meant to bring responsibility closer, not push it away. A healed person says, I notice I'm shutting down. I need a moment and I'll come back. Not, this is just how I am. A healed person says, I'm activated and need reassurance, but I'm working on regulating myself. Not, if you loved me, you'd fix this. A healed person does not outsource their regulation to others. They also do not isolate themselves from connection. They participate. The middle is where healing lives. Healing is not swinging from anxious to avoidant. Healing is not becoming the secure one overnight. Healing is the capacity to stay. Stay present, stay honest, stay embodied, stay responsive instead of reactive. It's choosing to pause instead of punish. It's choosing clarity instead of control. It's choosing repair instead of retreat. A healed nervous system can sit in the middle, between wanting and waiting, between closeness and autonomy, between fear and trust. Not numb, not flooded, grounded. Why labels feel safer than healing? Here's the part most people don't admit. Labels feel safer than healing because healing requires grief. To heal, you have to grieve. The childhood you didn't get, the safety you learned to create through dysfunction, the identity built around being the strong one or the needy one, the familiar chaos that once made you feel alive. Healing means letting go of the story that explains you, and that can feel like losing yourself. So instead, people cling to the label. They curate relationships around it. They ask others to accommodate it, but healing isn't about accommodation. It's about integration. Secure isn't boring. It's quietly powerful. There is a myth that secure people are dull, predictable, uninspiring. The truth? Secure people are calm in a world addicted to stimulation. They don't chase chemistry, they build connection. They don't confuse unpredictability with passion. They don't create intensity to feel alive. They are alive without it. Their presence is steady. Their words match their actions. Their nervous system doesn't hijack the room. And for someone who has lived in chaos, this can feel unsettling at first. Peace can feel unfamiliar. Consistency can feel suspicious. Safety can feel anticlimactic. Until your body learns it doesn't need to brace anymore. You don't heal by being chosen. This needs to be said clearly. You do not heal by finding the right partner. You heal by becoming someone who can stay regulated within connection. No amount of reassurance will heal anxiety. No amount of space will heal avoidance. Healing happens when you stop asking others to soothe what you refuse to face. You stop using distance to feel powerful. You stop using closeness to feel worthy. Healing happens when you take responsibility of your internal world without isolating yourself from relationship. That balance is the work. So, are you healed? This is not a moral question. It is not a judgment. It's an invitation to honesty. Ask yourself, can I stay present when I'm uncomfortable? Can I communicate without escalating or disappearing? Can I tolerate closeness without panic? Can I tolerate space without story? Can I repair instead of retreat? If the answer is sometimes, you're on the path. If the answer is not yet, that's not failure. But if the answer is, this is just who I am, that's where growth stops. You are not anxious. You are not avoidant. Those were strategies. They were intelligent. They protected you. But they are not who you are meant to remain. Healing is not becoming perfect. It is becoming present. And presence, real presence, is the rarest attachment style of all. Sit with that. Let it settle. That's today's pearl. Thank you for listening to this pearl. Carry it with you today. Keep searching.